Have you ever been so hungry you could eat a horse? Well, there was a man who could probably eat the horse, the saddle, and maybe even the rider. Meet Tarrare, a Frenchman from the late 1700s with an appetite so legendary, it's almost unbelievable. This isn't just a story about a big eater. It's a bizarre medical mystery, a tale of espionage, and a story that takes a dark, disturbing turn. From a young age, Tarrare was different. He was perpetually hungry, consuming vast quantities of food that would astonish anyone who saw him. His parents, unable to keep up with his insatiable appetite, kicked him out of the house. Forced to fend for himself, he joined a traveling troupe of charlatans and prostitutes, becoming a spectacle. He would swallow corks, stones, and even live animals whole, just to earn a few coins for his next meal. His signature act was eating an entire basket of apples, one after another, without pausing. Imagine this, a man of average height, but when his stomach was empty, his skin was so loose he could wrap the skin from his abdomen almost entirely around his waist. But after a meal, his belly would swell up like a gigantic balloon. Doctors who examined him were baffled. He could eat a meal meant for 15 people in a single sitting and still be hungry. He was known to devour cats, snakes, lizards, and puppies. He'd sneak into alleys to fight stray dogs for their scraps of garbage and offal. His condition wasn't just about the quantity of food. It was the smell. Historical records describe Tarrare as having a stench so foul that people couldn't stand within 20 paces of him. After he ate, a visible, foul-smelling vapor would rise from his body. His body temperature would skyrocket and he would sweat profusely. Despite his massive food intake, he wasn't overweight. He was dangerously thin, and doctors noted he suffered from chronic exhaustion. His unique, shall we say, talent caught the attention of the French Revolutionary Army. They saw a potential secret weapon. The idea was simple. Tarrare could swallow a wooden box containing a secret document, walk through enemy lines, and then, retrieve it later. His first mission was a test. He successfully swallowed the box, and 2 days later it was recovered from his excrement with the message intact. He was rewarded with a wheelbarrow full of 30 pounds of raw bull's lungs and liver, which he ate immediately right in front of the horrified generals. Promoted to the rank of spy, he was sent on a real mission to deliver a message to a French colonel imprisoned in Prussia. However, things didn't go as planned. Tarrare, who didn't speak a word of German, drew suspicion almost immediately. He was captured, beaten, and eventually confessed to the plot. The Prussians, after finding the box, were disgusted but also intrigued. They chained him to a latrine until the box passed, only to discover the message was just a dummy note. The Prussian general, furious at the ridiculousness of it all, ordered a mock execution before finally letting him go, warning him never to return. Traumatized by the experience, Tarrare returned to France, begging to be cured of his agonizing appetite. He was admitted to a military hospital where doctors subjected him to every known appetite suppressant of the time. From tobacco pills to laudanum, nothing worked. His hunger was uncontrollable. He would escape the hospital to scavenge for offal in gutters and garbage heaps. He was even caught drinking the blood of patients undergoing bloodletting and trying to eat the bodies in the hospital morgue. The medical staff tolerated his behavior for a while, but then the story takes its darkest turn. A 14-month-old child suddenly vanished from the hospital. The suspicion immediately fell on Tarrare. Whether he was guilty or not was never proven, but the accusation alone was enough. He was chased out of the hospital and disappeared for 4 years. He resurfaced years later, weak and suffering from advanced tuberculosis. He died shortly after at the age of 26. An autopsy was performed, though the stench was so overpowering that the surgeons could barely continue. They found that his gullet was abnormally wide, and when they looked inside his stomach, they could see directly into a cavernous, ulcer-covered chamber that filled most of his abdominal cavity. His liver and gallbladder were abnormally large, but what caused his extreme polyphagia, his insatiable hunger, remains a medical mystery to this day. Was it a damaged amygdala in the brain or an extreme case of hyperthyroidism? We may never know for sure. The story of Tarrare is a grotesque, sad, and fascinating glimpse into the extremes of the human condition. A man ruled by a hunger so profound it turned him into a sideshow freak, a failed spy, and a suspected monster. It's a true story that blurs the line between history and horror. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as bizarre as I did, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the strangest corners of history.